Hi everyone, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, still in my kitchen with some cider to try. And it is cider, not perry today, and it's another sample. I had a bit of a crap day, really bad shoulder today, don't know what I did, slept on it wrong, really rubbish day, and my pallet from Herefordshire didn't arrive either, so that's going to arrive tomorrow. It better arrive tomorrow, because it's got the Kingston Black on for the Instagram live tasting on Saturday, so we need to have that here before then. So let's hope that's tomorrow. I'm sure it will. But in the meantime, I have other things to try. So what have we got today? Another 70-50ml bottle, and it's one I've never had before. I've never even heard of it before, and it is Mynd cider in Shropshire. The guy who makes the cider, the guy responsible for this, is called Hugh Chapman. He's been making cider. This business has been going since 2019. Much like my own, good year for businesses. But I think he's been making cider for about 15 years. What does it say on the back? Mynd cider, a sparkling, medium-dry, full-body cider made using 100% locally harvested cider apples from along the Welsh marches, fermented with wild yeast and conditioned in oak West Coast whisky barrels. Okay, so we can probably tell this is like proper cider apples. Look at the colour, nice colour, which comes from the tannins. Now, batch 00119, so I think this is about this 2019 vintage, I think this is. So this is 18 months old, something like that, since it was picked and pressed, about 18 months, I'm guessing. 00119, I think 19 is the year, 001. I think actually this is the first time he's done it. That was the first time he'd done a bottled, this is the first bottled thing he's done as well. So, why put it in whiskey casks though, when it's the first time you've done it? That's what I'm curious about. I would have liked to have tried this without whiskey cask. I'd like to try both, but I have to have some in whiskey cask and some not in whiskey cask, because you've got these great apples, presumably, and these wild yeast to make something delicious, so why put it in a whiskey cask? As you can tell, I'm a bit sceptical about whiskey casks. Let's try it and see though, because we have had them when it's been done very subtly, like Tam O'Shanter from Pilton, very, very delicately done. That works fine. On other occasions, basically, the whiskey is masked to the cider. It's overpowered it. It's all you can taste. If you want a bottle of whiskey, I'll buy a bottle of whiskey, not a bottle of cider. So, let's see how it fares, shall we? Yes, Chris. Okay. Pop. Obviously sparkling, so bottle conditioned. Done its pet nap. Done its bottle before the end of fermentation. Already dosed it with sugar. When he bottles to get the fizz. Yeah. Questions. Always so many questions. Let's pour it out. I can't lift it up because of my shoulder, but I will pick it up in a second. So yeah, nice bubbles. Decent head on that, as you can see. There you go. Nice fine bubbles, as we would expect. Always from bottle conditioned cider. Maybe I can use my notepad. There you go. You see that colour there? So yeah, it's nice. Gold. It is amber, but bordering on gold, but it's definitely amber that. We like that colour a lot. Bright, don't know if it's filtered or just, don't know if it's filtered, don't think it's keeved, so that's a fining process as well, so I'm not sure. Maybe it is filtered, who knows? Hugh Chapman knows. Is it filtered, Hugh? He probably won't answer. Maybe he will, let's find out. Alright, let's smell it. Okay, so West Coast makes me think, no, it's more Isla stuff that's really peaty, isn't it? I don't like peat. Don't like peat very much at all. I just find it's too much for I just find it too much. And some people love peaty whiskies. But you put whiskey barrel with peaty whiskey as well, it's going to really smother things. But I would say there's a hint of it in there. There's a hint of it, but just a hint. Beneath that, lovely baked, earthy apple character is what I say. Rich and round. Yep. Yeah, but you can. There is a whiskey element too over the top. I mean, there ought to be. If you're going to put it in a whiskey cask, you should be able to taste the whiskey. You should be able to, otherwise why bother? It's getting the balance right. And you don't always know how much whiskey is left in the barrel, or how much whiskey flavour is going to be imparted by the barrel. And also depends on the size of the barrel. The smaller the barrel, the more whiskey flavour you're going to get from it, etc. Okay, let's try it. Okay, delicate tannins. They're there, but they are delicate. Minerality. There is almost like a demerara character to it as well. Hint of kind of green banana, I want to say as well. There's a ripe apple character in the middle. And there is an element of whiskey. It's definitely there. It's definitely there. What this makes me think of is whiskey and dry ginger. That's what it makes me think of straight away. My stepdad drinks whiskey and dry ginger when I go up and visit them, which I can't. I haven't for ages, but when I can, I have whiskey and dry ginger. This immediately made me think of like Canada dry ginger, in the green can with whiskey. That's what this is making me think of straight away. And it's a flavour I like. It's actually quite delicate. It's not as intense as I thought it was going to be on any level, whiskey or cider. Yeah. The whiskey's there, but it is delicate. It is delicate, it's well judged, it's good. It's quite a light, delicate drink, actually. On the back of the palate, though, that whiskey and dry ginger thing is pretty obvious. If you'd given me this blind, I would, at first I would have said it's cider, then I'd be like, but the taste of whiskey and dry ginger as well. That's what I would have said. That's the most accurate description I can give for this drink right now. Light, refreshing. It did say wild yeast, didn't it? Harvest wild yeast, yeah. So actually, all those things considered, cider apples, wild yeast, whiskey barrel, it's much more delicate than you would imagine on reading the label. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I think the delicacy of the whiskey pleases me. For some people, it might not be in it, have a big enough of a kick to it. But it's a pleasant drink, and it's the first one he's done. So, these things evolve. I mean, not just these things in bottle. I mean, his skills as a cider maker and his experience will inform what he does. And he's been making cider for quite a long time anyway, so he's obviously pretty experienced. But making cider for commercial sale in this sort of what's the word? I don't know. In a commercial sense, is a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing, and it's quite hard because you've got to make something you like, but you do have to have one eye on the market. But at the end of the day, I think you've got to make something that you really love. You have to do that. Stick your neck out. If you want to stand out from the pack, I think you have to do that. This is pleasant. It's very pleasant. It's like drinking a very, very, very light version of a whiskey and dry ginger. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay, so that's Long Mind Cider. So if you like whiskey with a delicate hint of whiskey, cider with a delicate... Sorry, I'm off my head tonight. If you like cider with a delicate hint of whiskey, get some of that. That's what I say. I will keep my eye on this producer and try more stuff as and when I can. Alright guys, I'll be back tomorrow with something else to try for sure. Maybe it'll be something off the palate. Maybe it'll be something out of my box of samples. Who knows? But until then, thank you for joining me. As always, and cheers.